What's going on, guys? We are live on TikTok and YouTube, and I am late. I'm super duper late because we had students today and wanted to make sure they got what they needed before I got on live. But what we're doing today is we're finishing up a project that I started. Hopefully you can hear me on TikTok. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. I'll probably turn that down because we're doing mastering today. Yeah, mastering for sync. So if you guys have any questions about how that mastering process happens, feel free to let me know in the comments. And if not, we're going to go ahead and get to work. Check, check, check. Let me actually share with you guys what I'm making, because I am mastering this completely, but it's going to have to get remastered because we're going to put a vocalist on top of this eventually. So here's what I got. Check this out. Likes. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. If there's anything that you want to ask, let me know while I'm live. And that is what we're going to be mixing in. Well, we just mixed it earlier today, but we're going to master it. Books on the technical part of mixing and producing, I would probably head towards The Art of Mixing, and there's a 3D Mixing Theory book that I would... those are the only ones that actually took the time to actually read, because there's a lot of information in those. But honestly, doing it is going to make you better. Like, for instance, I like to use... When I first started producing, I got better a lot faster when I had a mentor that told me, like, yo, if you want to learn how to produce music, you got to A, produce music, and B, copy the greats. So, like, I was in love with Timberland's drum patterns and stuff like that. So I focused on that first. Then my mentor forced me into, like, learning pop music because that taught me how to sound design. So he was like, I want you to make this track exactly how it sounds. And from there, like, he taught me how to, like, reference material, because if I can't compete with industry, then my standard's not going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what we want to try to do. What is your setup for recording straight into your phone with PC audio? I am using something called the iRig Stream. It is in my link in bio. Go grab that. Oh, joined the Discord last week. Nice. Guys, go join the Discord if you haven't already, because it's going to be closing pretty soon. And it's going to be only open to everybody that's taking the class for sync licensing. What did I have in mind when I was producing this? I had in mind Euphoria, but Euphoria-based products. So this is going to be a track or an album, EP, whatever you want to call it, for advertising. And so if you're on YouTube, you can kind of see it's got like 3 different moments in it, but I gave it a little extra room so the artist could have about 16 up front, develop some type of bridge, and then a chorus out. That's essentially what we're doing right now. Discord link is in the bio. What VSTs do you use for cinematic sounds? I use stuff like Metropolis Art. Contact is a lifesaver. Go get Contact and grab orchestral instruments from there. Yes, link in bio. What other stuff do I use for orchestra stuff? If you go to my YouTube, there I actually make a couple like trailer tracks in the live stream. So run through. Not ready for the sync class, but maybe in a year. Oh yeah, I'll be doing it. I'm actually working on modules so that like people can watch it whenever. Jackson House, what up? How you begin sync licensing? Make sure that you have your legals in order, i.e. your P.R.O. information. Make sure you own all your tracks before you start pitching. How much is the class? The class, as of right now, is $50. There's one happening that's it's a more general sense of sync licensing. We don't get in a lot of strategies, but that will be, I'm doing one with Sides this Saturday. That one's $25, but the module class that we're making that basically almost does sync licensing for you, that's going to be a little bit pricier, and hopefully that'll happen next month. The last live class is going to be on the 26th, so come through. It's going to be a party. I might open it up so that it's bigger than 30 people just to have like a last hurrah. Thinking about it. We'll see what happens. Do you just pitch to random companies? No, there is a method to my madness. There's a place to send music libraries, supervisors, all that kind of stuff. We talk about it in the class. Good question though. I'm going to go to the loudest part of the song, which is right here. It's even louder right here because we had a guitar. Guitar is kind of sticking out a little bit, so I'm gonna turn that down. It's at -18, but we're gonna turn it down just a little bit. PRO is your performance rights organization. Oh man, we got universe gifts in here. Guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for the likes. If you find any of this information helpful, please double tap the screen. It helps my page out a lot. Keep the questions coming though. What other questions do you guys have? I'm going to throw up my mastering chain for everybody on YouTube if you're looking, and we're going to go ahead and get started mastering this young track. Yeah, I'm here to help. Like I said, if you guys catch me on live, it's all good. I'm just trying to help everybody eat. There's enough music and opportunities for everybody. So least I can do is at least point you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? All right. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to pull up this Pt.III, my favorite, and I'm going to use the Pt.III low end trick to make sure that bass is nice and fat. Do you get placements using publishing houses or straight music soups? Both. I do both. Yep, I attack both. You might as well. Why not? You know what I'm saying? But do you suggest for someone starting up to send their first track? Don't send just one track. Send like an EP worth. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm making an EP for sync licensing. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. What I'm doing right now is I'm mastering a track for sync, and since I don't have a sub, I have to rely on using tricks like this, like tonal balance. I'd use headphones, but if I use headphones, it's going to be really, really loud. My stuff is gain stage, so -18 actually is kind of loud. The loudest thing in this track right now, because we haven't mastered it yet, the loudest individual track is -12. So just to keep that in perspective, like it's loud enough because I have it compressed and all that kind of stuff. It's cutting through the mix too well, and it's going to compete with the vocalist. So like right now, I'm sitting with a headroom of -6.25 because of all my stuff, but it sounds really clear. A clear mix will always sound louder than a loud mix. What's the deal with royalty-free loops? You can't use them. Just don't use them. It's a no-no for sync because they're paying thousands of dollars for original music, and a 12-year-old could throw loops together. You know what I'm saying? opinion about saturation. Saturation is everything. That's what I'm about to do with this track. I'm gonna throw a saturate. Well, I got a saturator I'm gonna use right after I finish this low end. And as you can see, that low end pull tech gives it that extra bass girth every time. If you guys are listening at home, put on your headphones and enjoy the bass. Something I like to do is also I'll dip the pull tech at like 200 hertz so it gets this like nice, it carves like all the extra mud out of the track. Super helpful. Can we talk about how cool this song sounds? I could use a little more top end, but I think after it's all said and done, it won't matter. Let me go to my favorite EQ tonal curve. It's this one. It's harder to make, but if I land it, then it's like bonus points. Let's try this again. That ain't gonna work. You see how off that curve is? Let's try to carve some more of that 200 space out. I wonder what's there. Listen to it. Interesting. What if I pull it up? I'm actually not hearing a difference. I wonder what's going on. If I clock it to 300. This isn't a hip hop track either, so there's a synth bass instead of an 808. That's probably what's going on. Bad reference. Did I study anything music specific? When I went to college, I went and studied I studied jazz performance. So look where that got me. Oh, mom's on the chat. How are you, mom? She says, "Thanks for subscribing." This sounds like something we need. Exactly. That was my reference, was Euphoria. So if you're hearing it already, I'm on the right track. That's good news for me. Because of your TikToks, I get my music in check. Good. We gotta keep each other accountable. Let's turn up that. I'm gonna boost the highs just ever so slightly. I'm gonna use the EQ and pull this down later because it makes the track feel and sound cleaner when I don't have that mud range right there. Even though it looks fine now, it fits the curve. Like I like it when it works better. So now we're gonna add a little bit of tape saturation with a J37, which is this doohickey right here. Most of your stuff is sample based. There's nothing wrong with sample based if it's not recognizable, which takes a lot of work. So if you're getting in the sync, like I said, don't do drugs. You could make something that sounds like it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you don't want to get in that legal trouble. It's a pain in the butt. So I have this on a preset so that it makes my mastering job easier. I could do this in 15 minutes if I really wanted to. I'm using the, where is it at? Mastering Fat Titan Open preset. And I don't touch anything on here. It just gives it a little liveness. Study audio engineering if I could. Nah, I wouldn't go to school for it. I just find somebody. Here's the biggest hack, and I need to make a TikTok about this. Instead of going to school, why don't you find the teacher and then just pay for a private lesson? You'll learn so much more of what you need to learn practically, right? Within like 10 hours worth of like studying with them, as long as you're taking good notes, like that's all you need. Like, why would you go through going in debt and all this other kind of stuff when you could just pay the person that is doing what you want to learn how to do? As long as they're a good teacher, like that's all you need. One of my homies, he went to Berkeley for like half a year and figured that out. He's like, yeah, why would I? It doesn't make any sense. I wish I could have thought about that earlier. I mean, granted, having the piece of paper is great. Don't get me wrong. And if like college is great for connections, but if you're learning something like audio engineering, which like hasn't changed in the last, I don't know, at least the books haven't changed for a very, very long time. Like just find somebody that's doing it. You might even have a job interning for them while you're learning how to produce yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to get around college debt, which no one wants. And like no one ever asked me for my degree either for work. They just look at my catalog and go, okay, this guy sounds like he knows what he's doing. Like nobody's asked me for that degree back there at all. Really? Bro, don't listen to him. Ableton is where it's at. I use Ableton all the time and I make a living from it. They just hating. That's terrible. Okay, as you see, we're building up. This is getting a little bit louder now, but we're gonna turn it down. I need to hit -6 when I touch the master, the first glue compression that I want. Yeah, Ableton is great for sound design. Like if they're hating on Ableton, then I mean, I don't know, man. Like all the DAWs are the same. It's just how you think is how it's tailored. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of boomers that I bet they live in Logic and Pro Tools, don't they? That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, why would you listen to guys that aren't making popular music right now? And you're going to pay them how much? A year? Nah, I'm good. I'll learn by myself. It might take a little longer. Actually, it might be faster because depending on connections, man, that's how I got in touch with Gaga's producer. I studied from him for like, I paid him like $500, $700 to just sit in the room with him for a weekend. And I learned so much. Like it's way better invested than like going to a class, having to wake up early, go to like, what is it? The gen eds that you have to do, all that kind of stuff. It's worthless to me. They're trying to force you to switch to Mac. I mean, Mac is cool, but they update every blue moon, which is what, every 2-3 months now. Like I wouldn't switch if you didn't need to. SAE Institute. I've never heard of that before. They got tons of good jobs and tips. I don't know. I didn't go to school for production. If anything, I would learn music theory. Like, and you could do that on your own too. Music theory will make you better overall in music. Yeah, if they just say it's just better without a really good reason, then that's just their preference. As you guys can see, we're back at -6 decibels, which is great. So I'm going to turn the SiQ off, and then I'm going to turn on the master glue compression. As you see here, solid state Logic. I'm using the one from Waves. I was going to get the one from UA, but this one works just fine. It's not entirely necessary. What I'm gonna do, my goal is to have that needle around -3, -4-ish, to glue all the elements together so it sounds like one cohesive sonic thing. It's not easy to learn theory. It's not easy if you're not learning with a piano, because you can see everything that you're trying to learn. Theory, and the other thing, music notation is not theory. Music theory is basically you explaining why something sounds the way it does. So like, oh man, like I like what you're doing with the synthesizer on this track because it's holding on the third, which gives you this kind of feeling. Like nomenclature is what theory is. So like, this makes me feel happy because it's a major third. That's what theory is. Not necessarily I can read notation. Because like, honestly, especially unless you're playing in an orchestra or a band or something like that, you're going to, in most real life situations, they're not going to have charts. They're going to tell you to go home, listen, learn the song. And it normally sounds better that way than reading it off a page. Because like you're internalizing the rhythm and the harmonies and all that kind of stuff. But that's my take. Production, mastery, Foley art, revolving around more sounds. Or around sounds more than beats. Yeah. Production involves all that kind of stuff, which is cool. Look at that. My preset is already set up and ready to go. This is exactly what I wanted. It's already waving around the -3, and now what I can do is I can give it some more makeup gain. So check this out. That snare is getting covered up. Can you guys hear that? It's not good. So I'm going to turn all this stuff off, go back into my mix, because that's what you're supposed to do. Don't ignore it. Don't try to fix it in the master. Fix it where the problem is. So this sound right here, I'm not hearing that snare loud enough. So I'm going to throw a transient shaper on here so I can pop and cut. You stay at -3 for the final mix. If you check out my YouTube, I'm literally streaming right there so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But like I am using -3 before I start my master chain. After my glue compression, which is part of my master chain. So I start at -6 and I add all the effects. And then after that, I throw on a glue compression and then pull it up 3 decibels and then do the rest of my master chain. Make sense? How'd I connect my phone like this? I'm using something called the iRig Stream, link in bio. All right, take it easy, bro. Happy to help. But yeah, I'm going to grab a transient shaper. Type. Oh, come on. Come on, computer. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna throw it on here. I'm only gonna turn it on at this point because I'm gonna automate this because there's something else on this track because I was very unorganized at the time. And so I'm going to turn off the limiter, turn up the attack, and it's only going to turn on when it gets to this point in the song. So I'm going to turn this off and then take the highlight selection and then whoop, flip it on. What's it like keeping up with practicing trumpet and production? It's fairly easy when I force myself to add trumpet for no reason. Some of my tracks actually do have trumpet laced in every now and then. I just try to make sure I play at least 4 hours a week just to keep my chops. But I haven't been doing that because I just got braces. So, yeah, I will probably get back to doing trumpet hardcore, especially when stuff starts to open up a little more because I miss playing live. Donation wear multi-stage phaser. That sounds close to, in your honest opinion. Interesting. I've never heard of that before. So you want your master to be at -6 before mastering. Yes. Now you got plenty of headroom to work with. Okay, I'm going to turn the gain down. Actually, let me limit it. Hear it in context. Super phaser. Dope. Never heard of that before. I'll have to check it out. I really want to do gear reviews and make them as obnoxious as possible. Like, give them all like really weird, bad numbers that have no scale at all, but still like show all the features. I think it'd be hilarious. Another thing that's really weird about this track is that the snare sounds like it's off to the right on this sample. And it's really annoying. Let me see if I can. If I mono it though, it'd probably mess with the sample spread. There we go. Let's make it minor mono, like almost fully, but not all the way there. Yeah, it sounds weird. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't think it's you don't get the live feed in mono because I'm literally directly from my interface into the phone. I have it set up that way. So like if I'm panning stuff, you should be able to hear it in headphones. If you're listening on mono speakers, that's a different story. Sure, I'll pan something. Let me take the. Can I take the kick and pan it? Check this out. Well, it's a click, so you'll be able to hear it. Should be on the right. Now it's on the left. Right. And left. Pretty cool. But I think I fixed the drum problem. Let me hear the drums in context again. Well, I've had some other people say that it has been panned. I'm not sure, but oh well. Maybe it's not for you. Is your studio room treated? Nope. It is not. I wish it was. I have a bed. This is a bedroom studio, so I have a bed soaking up a lot of space over here. But I use software to make sure that my speakers are flat. Oh, it is panned. Oh. I was about to say, oh, well, I thought it was. I don't know. I've heard other people tell me it's panned, but I know that the bass comes through nice. Let's go back to the guitars. Let me turn on the mastering chain, see if that fits. It's not punching through enough. I don't like it. I'm working on some sync licensing music, but I'm not liking how ugly this snare sounds. So just to give a little context, I'm working on music for sync, and this is going to be like a Euphoria thing. Clip it. It's not separated. I'm using a drum loop, so I'm gonna find a sample that sounds like the snare and then cut it out. I'm gonna do some surgery real quick. Forget it. I'll just take the actual snare because it's already separated. As you can hear here. I'm gonna take that. If you guys are on YouTube, you can check out exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna take, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's combine them. So I'm gonna take the snare I already have and then add this snare on top of it so I can have that 80s sound to it. Transient sound good? Yeah, that snare, it's not cutting through enough. It's not. So that's what we're doing now. I appreciate your feedback because it's driving me insane. So let's make sure that they're lining up so we'll have a flam. Perfect. Now, well, let's hear it. It's going to phase. Let me get rid of the stupid snares here. So I need to get rid of the snare. What? Wait, hold on a second. Instead of getting rid of them, I should probably just copy them in the MIDI. It's probably smarter. Yeah, that would be smarter. Now that sounds much better. Do I want to do this? This is going to be very tedious. A blind music producer? That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm doing that now. I'm late, sorry. You've always wanted to get in the sync. It is very lucrative. I have made a career out of it. It's pretty awesome. There's no barrier to entry. Just understanding the lay of the land or the rules of the road are essentially what you need to do. And after that, you make syncable music and you go from there. It took me a year to get my first placement, but it was because I didn't know what I was doing. Now that I know what I'm doing, like we vibing. What's the plugin that you have to ensure the speakers are flat? I did a video on it. It's called where's it at? I can just pull it up. It's called Sound ID, and it's the next version of Reference. It's pretty awesome. Basically, it uses an omnidirectional mic that I did it on live one time, but like I calibrated my speakers. It used sonar to hear where the microphone was and to hear all the reflections coming back, and it made adjustments for what my speakers were hearing back. It's pretty cool. It's called Sound ID from SonarWorks. Yeah, it takes time to find a network, which is why I recommend going to a music library instead, because they already have a network. All you need to do is make music. Okay, let me shrink this so I can see both at the same time. So we got... Okay, that's essentially the pattern. I don't have to do that over and over again. Copy, paste. Pop music, especially with drums, are like, it's easy to copy paste and nobody cares. Okay, hopefully this works. Let me hear it again. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of all the snares in the other one so it doesn't phase, which is a chore. But I'm going to leave one of them in so that it gives a little, makes it sound a little more human. Do you think sound on is worth looking into switching if you're a music artist? Instead of using DistroKid? Yeah. Because if they're offering ways to get syncs and they're offering 65% and it's non-exclusive and you already on if you're a TikToker, like if you making content all the time, it's an easy yes. Easy yes. Sync placements. Do you write songs, mix them, and then find the demand? Like email people? Yeah, I do it that way, and I also use TuneCore sucks. I used TuneCore for a very long time, and because I make music at scale, like I'd go broke before I find a placement there. But what am I trying to say? You could go through emailing people, cold email, that sucks. Like nobody wants to open up an email from a stranger. But you could go through an agent. You could go through there's other methods that we talk about in the class. You could go through, gosh, what's the other way you can find music libraries? Oh, if you actually know the music supervisor that makes the decision, that's always a good way to do it too. What up, Adam? Long time no see, fam. GarageBand and Logic because it's screen readers. That's dope. Yeah, that makes sense. So you probably have a lot quicker ear fatigue just because you're having to hear the computer talk to you about what you're seeing, and then also like having to listen to mix and master and stuff. Do you have a lot of analog stuff so that you can kind of feel where stuff needs to be, as far as like knobs and mixing and stuff? That's really interesting. You must be amazing at the piano, because I would have to see my samples So you probably create a lot of stuff from scratch. I'm assuming. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, I apologize. I'm not trying to be insensitive. That is true, and sometimes it gets kind of frustrating. Yeah. I had a composer friend that he was temporarily blind because of a surgery that he underwent, and he had a hard time. He had a very hard time. So speaking from at least familiar experience, because I'm almost there. Like, my eyes are terrible. Like, I totally understand. Oh, okay. It's still phasing because there's a snare here. Oh wait, or is there? It looks like it, but it might not be. Yeah, it's not. Okay, cool. We're good. Close call. So now I gotta get rid of all these snares. I even spliced one in because I wanted a different beat at the second part. Number one rule of sync: if you're making stuff for a library, make sure that the sound is changing every 4 to 8 bars. Every 4 to 8 bars, you need something different. So I indiscriminately did it with the drum pattern. Actually, let me, just by flipping the snare a little bit. Shoe commercial sound? Yeah. Well, hear the rest of it. It sounds less old school when you add the synths. Maybe the compressor's killing the transient now? Oh yeah. Too loud. Isn't that crazy? I turned down the gain and it actually goes, it sounds louder now. Ooh, I tell you what else I probably need to fix in here. Yep. Velocity needs to all be the same, so it can smack and be consistent. That's better. Ooh, it's a little hot now. It's a little hot. Let's turn both of these snare samples down. I am re-entering my mix from when I was trying to master. So normally, rule of thumb is you're supposed to have all this stuff fixed. I noticed the problem, so I turned off my master. If you guys are just joining us, and I'm fixing some drum samples that I want to sound better. That's better. Much better. All right. Did I turn off the... I don't think I did. Whoops. Well, at least I know it works. I think that snare is still phasing. Is that a snare? Oh yeah, we need to get rid of all that. We're not having that. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna keep that one out because that's a snare. Yeah, we don't need that, because we want a different pattern on this side. Nah, it's Jay-Z beat. Yeah. You might be right. When you put out a clip of your tracks, do you run into a problem that TikTok mutes you? Nope. Nope, I don't have that problem. It might be because of content ID. So if you're using a loop that somebody already published, it'll ping it and be like, oh, this is copyrighted material, even though it's not. So since I'm not using those snares, I can actually bring that back to regular width. So where's the start? Right here. I just want it on 2 and 4, super 80s. Might add some extra 80s toms. That feels good. I think the synth is fighting with the drums. Let me check. If it is, then I'm gonna have to spread it on the sides a little bit more. Where is the synth? I think it's this one. Or maybe it's I don't think it's the bass. Let me try the bass too. I think it's the synth. Needs to be turned down some more. All right, let's try it all together. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and start the mastering process with Ozone. Gotta make sure I have my tonal balance up, because again, I don't have a sub. So the cool thing about using Ozone is that when I use tonal balance, I can actually move the EQ, as you can see here. Woo! Check that out. Ooh, I'm glitching. Let's turn off oversampling. I can't oversample while I'm streaming, because silly old me was like, I'm not gonna live stream ever. I'm just making sync. And now look where I'm at. So my computer does not have the graphics card built for what I'm doing. Even though I tried to future-proof it. Anyways, though, I digress. Let's check this out now. I wonder if there's something else I can freeze. Let's check that out real quick. That sounds terrible. Come on, son. Terrible. I wonder if I'm humming at 40%. Yeah, it does feel like it's still in the back. I agree. I think what I'm gonna have to do is like maybe I'm gonna group everything together and duck it under the snare so that it comes out more. Because like right now it's just not. I don't know if it's just because of what DAW am I using? I'm using Ableton. Gated reverb. You can go live on that one, that still works. Add punch. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It sounds decent without everything else. That's why I'm like, it's getting masked by something. Because I got a transient shaper on it and everything. I can add more, but like, is that gonna... All right, let's try it again. Okay, so I just turned the limiter on the transient master and then turned up the gain instead of the attack, because the attack is sharp, it's just not cutting. So sometimes you got to use your ears instead of numbers, because right now this mug is way higher than what I'd wanted if I was using my eyes to mix. So rule of thumb, use your ears. Doing some additive EQ, just a little bit. I'm gonna, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make another band right here and then carve right here, because I know the vocal is gonna sit right around 2K with the singer that I'm gonna be working with. So I'm gonna turn down 2 decibels here. 80s snares are cheesy unless they work, and this one works. Let me double check the other grooves, make sure that all the adjustments I've made isn't messing with anything over here. I feel like the reverb for the snares are not coming through, or the whatever these are, claves. Yeah, we need those louder. I like that. What DJ Khaled say? I like that. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Let's copy paste, because drum grooves are pretty similar. This is why I like Ableton, is that I can do this and not waste my time. All right, now play it back. There we go. Okay, I promise it's not my computer glitching. It's a weird glitch that I found. Maybe it needs to be chopped up for context. Yeah, that's the sound. Yeah, it probably needs to be changed. The first half doesn't sound as good as the second half of the track, or of the sample. What's killing my CPU now? Jeez, man. Promise you, there's always something. I have everything frozen because I'm scared to commit the audio, because if the artist doesn't like the track or needs something moved out the way or changed, I need to save the MIDI so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. But if you're on Ableton and on YouTube right now, there's a cool little way you can do that. Let's do that, because I'm tired of freezing stuff. I really am. I'm going to go to current project, and then I'm going to create a new folder inside my project folder. New folder. I'm going to call this, what do I call it? Amber, because because I'm a Jurassic Park nerd. Amber, why do I need the weird sound? It's ear candy. So like, this is electronic eclectic R&B. So I'm just trying to capture the listener's ear for 2 seconds and be like, what the heck? And then by the time they figure out what it is, it's gone. I'm going to call this Amber Fossil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the frozen tracks I have before I flatten them, and I'm going to throw them all. Is that all of them? I'm going to throw them all into this folder to copy. And it's going to copy everything from them. Drag and drop. Copy. Bloop. So if I need to bring back an instrument that I've already flattened, like plugins and all, it saves all the information. I'm just going to pull it out that folder and we're done. So quick little Ableton hack if you mess with Ableton. That's what I like to do. Oh boy. What other questions do you guys have? I got like 10 more minutes and then it's dinner time. Is this still saving or is it frozen? I think it's just saving. Security pop-up. Did you send me a message on Insta? Oh, it did everything? Let me double check this. Yep, sure did. Look at all that. Now I can flatten all these jokers. Come on, Ableton. There we go. All right, so now I'm just going to right-click, flatten tracks, and it should kill all the extra CPU usage that I'm using at the moment. Is sound on worth it? I mean, it's worth it if you're. I'm going to experiment with it myself. But I mean, like, if you're going to distribute your tracks anyway, why not give them to somebody where it's directly on the platform that you're going to be using to market? You know what I'm saying? It's probably better than Facebook ads. Anything's better than Facebook ads. Would you recommend FL Studio for producing songs and such? I recommend whatever works for you. So FL might be good for some people. I don't like it because of how it's designed. What I normally tell guys when they're trying to figure out a DAW is like, go get every free trial version and just make something. And if it feels easier or more fun on one DAW than another, like, you're going to know. And that'll be your DAW. Try everything but Pro Tools. I'll tell you that. What inspired me to create tracks? I've been inspired to make music since I was a kid, but to produce music, it came out of necessity. We were making tracks. Actually, that's how I got into sync licensing. Was like, we were making songs and we were getting paid twice from them because of royalties from our PROs. Because if we're performing our songs live in different places, you can get paid twice from royalties. So like, from there, I was like, what if I just put it in the TV? That way I wouldn't have to actually go to a show and perform and do all that kind of stuff. And so as the band that I was working with and managing was kind of like coming to an end, that's how I got into production. Because I was like, I still want to make music, but I don't have a drummer or I don't have a bass player. So I just learned how to do it on the computer. So I hear music all the time. It's kind of weird. But that's what producers and musicians are. They hear music before it's actually a reality or created. You're hearing unheard music, which is cool. You just went to your own background music in your TikTok videos. Yeah, well, you can do that if you have an iRig. What I do is, because trending sounds help on the algorithm. So I'll take a trending sound, turn it all the way down, and then use the voiceover, turn my audio down, and then use it as the background to my videos. I do it for homies all the time. Like other artists that are that just released a song, like one of my boys, Civ, just released his song last Friday, and so we were throwing stuff on there. Facts, we are the strings. String theory. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? What is going on? And the exciter's off. Why is it glitching? This is so annoying. You guys have no idea. So it works here. Check my sample rate. Maybe that's what's going on. Buffer size, nope. We're at 2040 or 2048. I think it's just because I'm using OBS at the same time. Do you recommend SoundCloud to be a platform for beginner music creators? SoundCloud's cool, but like it depends on where your audience listens to music. You know what I'm saying? Like SoundCloud had the original audio algorithm when it comes to discovering new music, but like, do you ever hear some of your favorite artists that may be not necessarily competitors, but like in your same niche? Do you ever hear them say like streaming on all platforms? Does anyone ever mention SoundCloud? That's what I would check first. If nobody's mentioning, hey, my music's on SoundCloud, go listen to it there, then it wouldn't make any sense. Especially like, it's free to upload to SoundCloud, but you're not getting paid anything back to my knowledge at the moment, unless they have like a pro account or something like that. But you got to pay to get paid. That's weird. So like, I just pay $10 on DistroKid, and all my stuff gets sent out there. They collect my royalties, mechanical royalties at least, and it's a done deal. So like, why would you start? Everybody has an equal at bat on DistroKid or a performer like that. I just asked the question because SoundCloud for me is accessible. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Sound On might be something that you might want to get into as well. They might be a little more accessible. Make a video explaining how much you did with your iRig, or what I did with the iRig. There is a video. It's buried. Huh? Dinner's ready? Okay. I need to finish this. So it's dinner time. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I will do a video on the iRig tonight, because I don't want to send you down a rabbit hole, because I have like over 1,000 videos on just stuff about music and producing, so that would be a pain. Anyways, though, if you guys have any other questions, make sure you comment, subscribe on YouTube. Watch the process. We're here every Monday. Terrible timing. Well, we'll be back on Friday. I'll probably, you know what? Honestly, I'll probably need to go live every day this week. So I'll probably be live around this time tomorrow, and you guys take it easy. And since I said take it easy, hit the outro music.